People who are bothered by others wearing a mask while driving. Why do you care? A tiny handful of people actually read and answered the question, but a rough ton of people answered by our own question. I once saw someone driving with a mask on, trying to be safe in a pandemic, but they were texting and driving. It's just weird when I look in my rear view mirror and some dude wearing a bloody hockey mask is behind me with a machete. It gives me the creeps. I started minding my business in 2004, and I have to say I recommend it. I see tons of wild shit. I may look to be sure I'm seeing correctly 9/10 I shrug and go about my day. When I see others driving with a mask, I just assume they are like me and they forget that they are even wearing a mask, hop in their car and go. It's become second nature to me. I deliver DoorDash and Instacart. Yay to you. I looked like a dummy wearing a mask in my car. In all actuality, I'm treating others like you'd hope to be treated. Point in keeping their food as sterile as possible in my car. Edit. Holy acid. Thanks for all the love, guys. My high-risk sister just tested positive for COVID on Monday and we are really scared for her life. I don't wish COVID on anyone who's been taking this serious, as she was. A coworker who refused to wear a mask gave it to 10 people in her department at her job. Wear a damn mask. As someone who tends to judge those people, I have no idea, it has zero effect on me. Because it's illegal here in Germany. Always gotta know who's driving the vehicle. Why do we care, in general, about the harmless behaviors of others? Sometimes masks can be annoying to get just right, especially if you have a beard. I tend to keep it on, so I don't have to readjust it, especially if I have to stop at a couple places. I have a few masks, and one of them is actually really comfortable. I kind of forget I have it on when I'm focused on the directions to where I'm going, or what exactly I have to get in the next store, or something like that. My kids are autistic, and we are at the stage with the youngest one THWT it's hard to explain complex situations to him. He's 6 and very smart, but his verbal communication skills are still a ways behind. It's so much easier explaining to him that when we leave the house we just put our masks on, than explaining when to wear it and when not. Now he happily puts his mask on, just like he's putting on his shoes, and has fully accepted it as part of the routine. Hence, we all just wears masks, to keep it simple to understand. I just want to explain why I do this. When I go outside to run an errand it is best to assume my hands are now dirty until I wash my hands. Why would I touch my mask with dirty hands if I don't need to? In times of COVID and with vulnerable family members, I do my best not to get sick. Plenty of people could be Uber drivers or the equivalent, in which case still not a good idea to be sneezing and coughing while alone just to bring a passenger in. The real question is why people wear earphones while driving. I don't think your target audience is on Reddit. People care about others' behavior and trying to control them because they lack self-discipline and would otherwise have to fixate that attention on themselves, which is hard for them to do. My dad isn't bothered, he just thinks it's ridiculous. Then I mentioned to him that early on it was recommended that you have clean hands before putting on your mask. Maybe they washed their hands and went to the store, then had to go to somewhere else, but didn't feel their hands were clean enough to touch their mask again and again. Or maybe they're a rideshare driver and on their way to pick up a ride, so need to stay covered like a grocery store worker. He gets quiet or changes the subject after that. In Australia, we've been told once it's on, leave it on until you get home. The less you touch it with your hands, the better. This means leave it on in the car between stops. I can't see any reason for someone to be angry about this, and I've not seen it happen over here. Are these general anti-mask people where you are from, or do they have a particular issue with people in cars? Someone literally yelled at me out of their car the other day, "Why are you wearing your mask? Bitch, why are you not minding your own business?" There's always the chance they are working for DoorDash, Skip the Dishes or something like that, transporting goods that they won't want to exhale droplets all over if it's in their car. Could just be driving someone else's car. There's a million reasons why they could, who cares? It bothers me because it shows a propensity to blindly follow authority without critical thinking that has become increasingly common. I find it funny when I see a person driving around alone in their own car wearing a mask, but I don't really care at all. Some people want to ignore the pandemic, and seeing people in masks makes that impossible. Some people can't see anything that goes against their worldview without feeling at least a little bit like it's a personal affront. So when people wear masks when they don't have to, it feels even more like they are just doing it to make a statement or to rub it in that the pandemic is real and there's no ignoring it. I realized sometimes when you walk out of places you forget to take it off, and next thing you know you are halfway home with a mask on. At first it bothered me because masks were uncomfortable, and why wear it when you're alone in your car? But as quarantine went on I realized lots of people work for Uber or Lyft, or maybe they just want to, and that's okay. I used to be bothered by it at the beginning of the pandemic before my workplace allowed us to wear masks. Yes, they said we were not allowed to wear them because it would alarm those in our care. Eventually they required we wear the masks, which I was happy to do. Some people would take this off casually and not make a big deal out of it, but I was more of a stickler, so I got used to wearing it in and outside of buildings, as well as in cars, when I had to travel with other workers. I forgot all the time that I was wearing it. I actually had someone point and laugh at me wearing my mask in my car. All I could think is that it must be nice to work remotely and not be conditioned into feeling weird without a mask, like I was before I wore one all the time. I mean, I had a mask tan line from how much I had to wear it. So when I see somebody I used to think was weird for wearing one, I now understand, since I've been there. I still get irritated when I see people wearing them with their nose sticking out or backwards. There's a reason it's layered the way it is.